If you bought a home anywhere in the GTA between 2021 and 2024, there is a very real chance that you are sitting on a massive paper loss right now. And for some people, it's not just paper anymore, it's turned real.
Where's my money?
We're seeing brutal price drops across Toronto and the surrounding areas. Hundreds of thousands of dollars wiped out in just a few years. Let me show you what I mean. This isn't one bad sale, this is a trend. And no, it's not just because of recent economic headlines or political tension. A lot of what inflated home prices in the first place was a perfect storm. Record low interest rates, massive immigration numbers, easy credit, and a belief that the GTA real estate, it only goes up.
You can't lose!
We poured gasoline on the housing market, and now we're dealing with a hangover. This isn't a normal seasonal slowdown. This isn't buyers waiting for spring. This is something structurally breaking in the market. You see, in a healthy market, prices cool slowly. You don't see people losing $400,000, $500,000 in 2 or 3 years. That only happens when demand disappears at the same time that pressure to sell explodes. And that's what's happening right now across the GTA. So part of it is the beginning of the mortgage renewal wave of 2026 that occurred throughout 2025, and millions of homeowners are renewing mortgages across Canada that were locked in around 2%. And they're rolling those rates now closer to 4% or higher. So for a lot of people, their payments were already stretched. Now they've turned completely unaffordable. That's why we are seeing more power of sale listings, which I'm going to show you, more bank foreclosures, which I'm going to show you in a second, more distressed sellers, and more fixer-upper properties hitting the market. A lot of this is because many homeowners, they used equity of their primary residence to invest. So they bought secondary properties. They renovated them. They leveraged themselves. And when rates rose and values dropped, the math stopped working. And some are being forced out right now. Here's what's happening all at once. So we're seeing home values slide back towards 2020 levels, rising unemployment, immigration is slowed down, the international student numbers are dropping massively, trade tensions are hurting the economy. Every week there's a new threat. It doesn't take a mathematician to see where the pressure is headed. Prices are very likely to keep moving down.
We're going down.
And another massive factor pushing down prices right now is simple. There are too many homes on the market and not enough buyers, which is crazy because not too long ago, the demand for homes was seemingly reaching crisis levels. But over the past year, we've seen record numbers of listings that didn't sell too. So they expired, they were canceled, they were pulled off the market, hoping things would improve. But most of these sellers are coming back in 2026. So instead of the inventory shrinking, it's going to stack on top of the current inventory. And when supply rises faster than demand, prices, they don't stabilize. They continue to fall. Now, if you're new here, I'm Karl, and my team and I have helped over 300 people buy or sell across the GTA. Every buyer we work with gets a home warranty up to $15,000 in case an appliance or home system needs fixing or being replaced. Plus, we're giving all of our clients from January to February, reach out from YouTube, a free professional moving cleaning service as well when they take possession of their next home. So if you want help or you want to learn more about how we help buyers and sellers, reach out through the link in description. We can have a friendly chat and I'll see how we can be of help. Now, when you look at non-condo properties across the GTA, you can see here detached, semis, towns, we're literally trending back toward 2020 pricing. In some outer regions, even lower. And that's where things are getting especially painful. The areas getting hit the hardest aren't downtown Toronto. It's the outer GTA, the commuter towns, the regions where prices doubled in 2 years without wage growth to support it. The remote workers that always thought that they're going to be able to work from home, right? So we're talking places like Barrie, Niagara, Oshawa, Brampton, Durham. These markets, they exploded during the boom, and now they're deflating just as fast. Let me show you some real examples. This home is in Barrie. It's a detached bungalow bought in 2022 for $975,000. It just sold for $539,000. That is a $436,000 loss, nearly $500,000 gone. In Brampton, right now we're seeing detached homes selling under $700,000. A few years ago that sounded impossible, but now it's the reality of the market. And you can see these are the homes that sold for under $700,000, some in the mid sixes. You've also got a power of sale property right here, sold in 2022 for $1.35 million, just sold for $775,000. That is a $575,000 loss, over $500,000 erased. Mississauga, a 3-bedroom bungalow that was a fixer-upper on a decent lot, was bought for $1.825 million in 2022. It just sold for $1.18 million. That is a $645,000 loss. And this is all happening because many buyers assumed the interest rates would stay low forever. Payments would always be manageable. And of course, the GTA real estate market, prices only go up here.
Those were the good old days.
We're seeing price cuts on homes. Homes that are listed high, they're just sitting for weeks without activity. Then they're dropping their prices $50,000, $100,000, sometimes even more, depending on where they are. And even after those reductions, many still aren't selling. And that tells me the market hasn't found its floor yet. And sellers are going to be chasing the sold prices downwards. And then you've got places with major manufacturing and auto hubs, right, like Oshawa, they're already losing jobs. So when unemployment rises, forced selling typically follows as well. And that adds even more downward pressure on prices. This is also why the market feels completely different today. There's no bidding wars. There's no pressure to go firm. So there's no deposit requests, right? Everything is negotiable again. Even furniture inside the properties. You can get inspections and really protect yourself. You can renegotiate prices if you find issues. You can ask for repairs or discounts. You can take your time. And this is one of the more buyer-friendly markets we've seen in many years, especially for first-time buyers. And so that goes along with my next question that people keep asking me, right? What would actually bring buyers back to the market? And a recent poll asked potential buyers what would make them jump back into the market. And here's what they said. 52.6% said nothing. They simply can't afford it. So the ongoing affordability issue for many. 32.5% said lower prices would bring them into the market. And then 15% said lower interest rates would make them take action. And I agree with that logic. Purchase price is more important than interest rates, is that you are stuck with your purchase price for 25 years. Interest rates, they change over time, but the lower price, it matters more. By the way, if you like this content and find it helpful, hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot. I post real Greater Toronto Area market updates, but also home buying strategies every week. Now, who is expected to be the demographic that becomes more active this year? Well, I think it's going to be millennials. And so I saw another poll showed that 25% of them are looking to enter the market this year. And baby are also surprisingly active as well. Gen Z is lower, and mostly it's because of employment stability. But they're also possibly going to get help from the bank of mom and dad.
Oh my God, you're rich.
Oh, my parents are rich.
Markets like this are painful for some people, obviously sellers. But this is where leverage flips in your favor if you're a buyer, right? And this is where you really need great negotiation on both sides. And this is where you really don't want to overpay for a property. I think this year alone on our team right now, we are averaging about 11% below asking price on purchases. So if you're thinking about buying, reach out through the link in the description. Now, I know some of this and this topic of the market, bank sales and things going down, it sounds very heavy, right? But I'd rather tell you the truth about what's happening in the GTA market than sell you some optimism. So I always think like my job is to protect people from bad decisions and help them take advantage of smart ones. And so right now, the GTA is in the middle of a major reset. Till next time, thanks for watching.